Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and this morning I took the Wave Runner up the river with some friends looking for alligators. This morning we didn't see any, but I think that's because I had my playlist turned up all the way too loud, scared all the alligators off. But I saw a video yesterday of a kayaker who was is kayaking, looked like he's in the swamp. And an alligator charges his kayak and knocks him over, and luckily the guy got away and the gator went off. But I was sitting there thinking that as I'm driving that Wave Runner up this creek. I'm like, man, a big enough one of these things could come hit this thing, tip me over, and then I'm out of business. No more DAI then. All right, this is an obvious question that I still have, and I still don't understand why nobody's answered it. Ethereum does not have any legal clarity. It has not been declared a commodity legally. It has not been declared anything. What I'm wondering, while we're seeing the results of this Ripple lawsuit, is now you've got Ripple has all these restrictions on how they can sell XRP and all this stuff. I want to know why there's no restrictions on how Consensus, the Ethereum Foundation, or the founders of Ethereum, why do they not have any conditions on how they can sell Ethereum? That's my question. That's a common sense question for this industry. But the better question is, why is nobody in this industry asking that question? Everybody's pointing at Ripple. Oh, well, they're in a lawsuit, and because the SEC sued them, they now have, the judge said this, and so they've got this is how you can sell it, not sell it, and all that. But Ethereum has no restrictions and never has. Hasn't had to pay $200 million to fight a lawsuit, hasn't been tied up for 3 or 4 years. What in the world? We can't have a country where the rules apply to one company, but they don't apply to another company. That's how you create monopolies, and that's what they tried to do. That's what they have tried to do with both Bitcoin and Ethereum in this industry. They tried and failed because we exposed ETHgate. That's the reason it was so important. All the fighting that's going on against the government and crypto now, you can thank the XRP community for that, because it didn't even nobody had done it before the XRP community did it. Now, this is Bitcoin Maxi's gone wild.
Can you clarify? Bitcoin is Bitcoin, and whether it's BSV or BST, it's still Bitcoin. It's just a different.
BSV is a totally different. BSV and Bitcoin Cash, they're totally different. They're trying names. They're trying to copy the name to be able to confuse people, to be able to promote their thing.
Right. So if you're looking for pure Bitcoin as you've been describing, it would just be Bitcoin and nothing else.
Only Bitcoin. And every other, and this is going to be a stretch for some people because they understand crypto, or every other crypto, whether they know it or not, I believe every other, in my opinion, every other cryptocurrency goes to zero.
Oh,
right.
Man,
every other one, because this is a protocol.
With him.
It's not a cryptocurrency. It's a protocol design, and the longest, most honest, decentralized, and secure chain.
Nope, wrong. Bitcoin is not the most honest, because they claim that Satoshi created it and nobody knows who it is, but we have video that Homeland Security met with the 4 Satoshis. It is not transparent until they tell you who those 4 Satoshis are. The most transparent is XRP. You know who has it. You know who owns it. Ripple's been transparent. They've shown quarterly reports. You know who founded it. You know everything. It's the only transparent blockchain that you know everything about. Everybody else has secrets by design.
And then on top of that layer, you don't need other tokens. You don't need other coins. It's ubiquitous. It works.
You don't need Bitcoin. All you need is XRP, because see, what he's not telling you is you can't build anything on Bitcoin. You can have Bitcoin as a store of value, and that's it. You can invest, you can have money in XRP, and you can also build things on the XRP ledger.
And you add different functionality with different trade-offs to scale in layers, and all of the other coins can't serve that purpose.
Oh, so the ignorance, or maybe the intentional lying of these people is unbelievable. Check this out. The Internet of Value will make for money. What is it? What? Internet of Value will make for money and other forms of value what the internet did for information. Riz, I must inform you, the crypto Gestapo said that you can't show this. This is it was called the Everest document from a few years back, but we were informed that you're not allowed to show this optimism because the information's too old. We were informed of that not too long ago by the crypto Gestapo, but we do it anyway on here, and so I was just telling you, Riz, so that you knew about it. But right here, you look 2020 to 2025 is blockchain solutions for capital markets, trade finance, emerge, R3 Quarter, DAH, Fabric, etc. ILP Java becomes the interoperability standard for Hyperledger Foundation products. Check this out. Okay, so then we've got this. This is interesting. All right, Elon Musk is going to do a live with Donald Trump on tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, I believe. I've been covering at the X platform, the PayPal mafia, how I think they're all, for years I've been showing you how I think that they're all in one way or another linked together. PayPal, just in the case of, let's say, Peter Thiel, for instance. And by the way, J.D. Vance is a disciple of Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel was one of the first investors in Ripple through the Founders Fund. Okay, he was an investor in OpenCoin before it was actually Ripple. Okay, then you've got Jed McCaleb when he formed Stellar. The first investor in Stellar was Stripe, and they took 2% of the XLM in return for their investment. Stripe, well, this is Ashish Birla. Let me pull this up. This is Ashish Birla on stage with Claire Hughes Johnson, the COO of Stripe. Another thing you need to know about Stripe, Stripe is the payments backend on the X platform.
I think in July, Bitcoin took about 60 minutes for the transaction to go through, which still isn't great. Imagine going to get a cup of coffee and then standing there for 60 minutes waiting for your transaction to go through. It's not a currency. It's been as long as 3 to 5 days. And when you get that long for a transaction to clear, you actually sometimes have, and the price difference changes, you actually have to do another transaction in order to make up the difference. So it became very complex on our side, but also on the merchant side, in order to reconcile and manage their books and know what they were actually selling, because the Bitcoin value is so volatile. It was changing, daily at that time.
Wow. Ashish, I know you guys at Ripple have a product that you sell to all sorts of financial institutions that uses cryptocurrency called XRP. Can you talk a little bit about, I know so far no bank has actually agreed to use XRP for payments, but that's something that your CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, has guaranteed will happen by the end of this year. Can you talk a little bit about what is the resistance that you're getting from banks and financial institutions and what it's going to take to overcome that?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And that what we're finding is that it's a regional difference as well. So, in Southeast Asia, it's a very different story than the US, where a lot of these banks and financial institutions are reliant on the HSBCs, the Citibanks of the world to move money, but they're the future superpowers of the world. And they're seeing that they can use blockchain technology to leapfrog the Western world and maybe not rely so much on the service that Citibank offers to move money. The other thing is that there are a lot of issues with using digital assets and cryptocurrencies to move money. But part of what we've done at Ripple is made that experience a good one. So, for example, there is an issue with volatility. But using our technology, if they want to move money into Mexico, for example, they're seeing the US dollar to Mexican peso rate, and they're only exposed to the volatility as it transfers across the different systems for a few seconds.
All right, so look at this. So he's on stage with the Stripe girl. And then let's show you some other connections here. Bitstamp, which we have some exciting news. This is when Bitstamp joined forces with Robinhood. Robinhood recently was teasing, I think it was being teased that Robinhood could potentially relist XRP. Well, I think it was a guy from Robinhood. I think it was a video we showed. And then this is Bitstamp and Stripe. Stripe's leading financial services. In 2023, Stripe processed over $1 trillion. So Bitstamp announces a partnership with Stripe to support Stripe's fiat to crypto on-ramp. So, and then you'll remember, I don't think they are anymore, but Ripple was invested in Bitstamp too. It's a very small world. Saw this clip going around today. Cybos, anyway, just listen.
Again, how has the past few years really impacted the idea of ecosystems, your collaborations, your partnerships, and even acquisitions?
You know what?
And then
that's not the clip I wanted you to see. I wanted you to see this. This is Fred Rispoli talking about Ripple ready for takeoff with Tony. He was on Thinking Crypto show.
There's other people that say once the switch is flipped, everything's going to go to the moon. And now Ripple is in a position where the emergency cover over the switch has now been unlocked. And so we're going to see, was Ripple just, for lack of a better word, blowing smoke? Or do they have a sustainable business model that they can now accelerate into serious growth? And, I believe that they do, and they do have a strong business model, but we're going to see.
Great point.
All right, and then finally, I want to show you this. Thinking Crypto also had BitBoy on, and we're gonna put this firmly in the All the World's a Stage file. Listen to what he says.
Yeah, the lion's share, the old lion's share. Yeah, they definitely got that. Now, the thing is I've said for years, this was staged, guys. This was never real. I don't believe this was ever a real thing. I've been told, and I now believe this 100%. I believe it 100% that 75%.
He says, I've been told. That means he's got another inside source. Inside source. He's got one.
Everything you see is fake. And it doesn't mean that if you watch 100 court cases that 75 of those are fake and 25 are fake. It means pretty much 75% of anything you see anywhere is fake. So 75% of someone's testimony is their perspective in the way that they saw things. That's a good example, right? Have you ever had a situation where you and someone else were good friends, but you just saw something completely differently, right? And that's kind of how things work. And with the SEC and the Ripple lawsuit, this was always designed to make XRP, basically the first regulated cryptocurrency, and to allow it to get into the banking system, because Bitcoin is not actually regulated in a sense. There are some rules around some things, but like Bitcoin mining has virtually no regulation, right? Bitcoin trading doesn't, it kind of is different than the regular stock trading. Should have its own rules. They haven't touched any of those things yet. I think.
Whew, very interesting concept. All right, in DAIXRP.com, we have another, what would I call it? I think that this is, maybe it's smoking gun number 4. Smoking gun 4 is what we'll call it. I think we're on number 4. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family. This thing is, I don't think they're putting this genie back in the bottle. I'm going to show you smoking gun number 4. Here we go.